Your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
It is Friday, 15th December 2023. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. This is News to 6 a.m. on News Power Digital. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and Guyanese President Dr. Irfaan Ali both agreed to reject any threat of violence in their dispute over the Essequibo region and to refrain from any escalation of the disagreement. Late Thursday, President Maduro posted on Twitter X a copy of the Argyle Declaration, agreed to by both leaders in earlier talks in St. Vincent under the auspices of CARICOM. Maduro posted it with the caption, "Excellent Day of Dialogue." The declaration indicated all parties present had committed to Latin America and the Caribbean region as a zone of peace. And Ghana's President Irfaan Ali says he's made it clear to the Venezuelan president in their meeting in St. Vincent on Thursday there is no retreating on the country's position on the Essequibo belonging to Guyana. He said Guyana will not be shifting from its position from the International Court of Justice. President Ali made the remarks at a news conference at the Argyle International Airport in St. Vincent. Mr. Ali said Guyana will continue to exploit the resources within its territorial space. Residents of Bamboo Settlement Number 2 are unhappy the controversial guard booth erected in the area was demolished by the Tunapuna-Piako Regional Corporation yesterday. The guard booth came down at 5 a.m. after weeks of talks between the residents and the corporation. In early November, members of the community said they pooled together resources to construct a booth to protect themselves following an increase in crime in the area. They were advised by the corporation's chairman, Josiah Austin, the structure was in violation of the corporation's building codes. Austin told the media on December 6th that the corporation was not opposed to a guard booth being constructed in Bamboo Settlement Number 2 once the required approvals were granted. President General of the National Trade Union Center, Michael Annett, said the unions will work with new President of the Industrial Court, Heather Seals, despite their disapproval of how outgoing President Deborah Thomas Felix was treated. Seals was appointed as President of the Industrial Court on Wednesday after Thomas Felix's term came to an end on Tuesday. NATUC said the joint trade union movement raised concerns about the non-renewal of Thomas Felix's contract. Yesterday, the All Trinidad General Workers Trade Union also came out in support of the new President Seal. President of the Industrial Court is a position laid out in legislation and is not specific to any one person, Murad said. He added, the new president must be given a fair chance to function in the position as all others have done and must be judged on her own merit. Late former PNM MP and Minister Marlene McDonald will be laid to rest later this morning at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception in Port-of-Spain, followed by a burial at the Western Cemetery in St. James. This confirmed by members of McDonald's former PNM Port-of-Spain South constituency, who noted both the church and cemetery are located within McDonald's former constituency. The service expected to begin at 10 a.m. and full attendance by top PNM brass, including PNM's political leader, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, and members of the PNM party, as well as opposition MP. Following the service, McDonald will be buried at the Western Cemetery. She died last Friday at the St. Clair Medical Center after ailing for some time. The West Indies will go into the third T20 match against England at the National Cricket Stadium in Grenada on Saturday, seeking to secure a win in the five-match series that now stands 3-0. On Thursday, the Caribbean side won the second T20 match against the visitors by 10 runs. They won the first game on Tuesday at Kensington Oval in Barbados by 4 wickets. Defending 176 runs, the Windies restricted England to 166 for 7 off 20 overs. Sam Curran top scored for England with 50 runs. Vice-captain fast bowler Alzari Joseph led the way with figures 3 for 39 off 4 overs. And that is news to 6 a.m. right here on News Power Digital. We'll have major news coming your way at 7 a.m. Good Friday morning to you.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
Neighbors, and welcome to the Power Breakfast Show on Power 102 Digital. It is Friday, That's right. It is Friday. It is pretty much the middle of the month, the 15th day of December. So thank you so much for joining us on YouTube, on Facebook, on our app, and those on audio devices. Good morning to you. But let's get straight. Let me tell you who's on the show. Paul Richards, you just heard him with our news brief. We'll hear from Wendell Stephen. We'll hear from Richard Raghubar-Singh. We won't hear from Ruben. And you're hearing me, Steve Khan. All right, let's get straight into the WT, see what's happening at this time. Nothing in the east-west corridor, just a little volume from Trin City towards Orange Grove, passing through Kelly Village. You've got something. Head down south, nothing. Solo, nothing. Nothing out of the west. Valencia Stretch, you've got some volume there this morning. All right, let's get into the WTs. It is 25 degrees at Piarco International Airport, 24 at Crown Point in our beautiful sister isle of Tobago. And what the Met Office is saying for today, let me just see if it's updated. And they're pretty much saying that it's going to be fair to partly cloudy and breezy, interrupted by occasional cloudy periods with moderate showers. Maximum forecast temperature is 31 degrees forecast for today on both islands. All right, but let's check some temps across our listenership and see. Ooh, it's like summer. You went from -2 yesterday morning to 3 degrees, Toronto. That's where you are. And Claire, Miami, you're at 21. Orlando, 18. New York, 2, and mostly clear. Atlanta, 2 as well, clear. London, mostly cloudy and 6 degrees. Tampa is 18. Washington, D.C., you're sitting at 0 degrees. All right. Now, let's see who sent us hellos this morning via YouTube and Facebook. Let's see. Wendy and James, good morning to you. Oliver Man Warren, Garcillier out in Baltimore, Maryland. Wayne B. in Covington, Georgia. Anthony Tinto out in Ontario, Canada, Brampton to be exact. Ewart Rajpal, DJ Ray out in Tampa, Carol Guevara, Boy Bedisi, Carol Joseph, Doreen Pierre. Morning, DJ. Ewart Rajpal, good morning. Ray out in West Palm Beach, Florida. Rena Boudou Jennings, Trinidad Margot, Cynthia Ramsarup, Maria Celia. Good morning to you all. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, let me say good morning via WhatsApp, 318-1021. Let's say good morning, good now to Val. Good morning to you. Dan Raj, good morning. And Michael out in London. And he said, please wish my wife Joy and I a happy wedding anniversary today. Well, happy anniversary to you guys. How many years? Tell us there, Michael, how many years? Richard M. Jeremiah, good morning to you as well. And good morning to you, Wendell Stephen. What's happening, my friend?
Hi, morning, Steve, morning, Paul, morning, Richard, morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and good morning, listeners and viewers. Oh, Paul is in a beautiful red shirt. Oh, I feel kinship this morning. I feel a connection. I don't know if it's because today is Marlene's funeral, but I couldn't ask for a better tribute than that red shirt there, Paul. Marlene wore a lot of red shirts, a lot. I like it. Anyway, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. It's an absolutely beautiful Friday morning. As I said, today is, in fact, the funeral of Miss Marlene McDonald, and that's at the Cathedral in Port of Spain and then to the Western Cemetery in St. James, all being done in the constituency of Port of Spain South.
Yeah. Right. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Steve and Wendell and Richard and everyone. Good Friday morning to you. Merry Christmas to everyone. Season's greetings.
And
Feliz Navidad and all that good stuff.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, let me just let you all know we will be chatting with Dr. Amory Brown at 6:30 this morning.
Or 6:30. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Because there's been an update in what had happened.
So we'll hear from him.
Yes. Morning, Amjad Ali would have sent it to me already. I did send it to you guys a while ago.
Yeah, I got it a couple of times. Yeah, I got it.
I did at 8 last night, but thanks anyway.
Yeah. So what else is happening? Yesterday I took my workers. Well, we went to, I always like to say they work with me and not for me. Because I mean we've been doing it for so many years. We went to Sierra's Cottage down in Barrackpore. That's a beautiful place. It's owned by Jason Mohammed and his wife. Jason Mohammed he plays cricket for Trinidad and Tobago, and he would have played for West Indies too. It's a beautiful eco resort in the middle of nowhere, I have to say, in Barrackpore. It's a beautiful place. We went there and we had fun yesterday. I always enjoy barbecuing for them and so on, and we really had a good time. So, good morning, Jason and Sarah. You really have a beautiful place down there in Barrackpore, you know. And if anyone here is listening for and looking for a nice place to take family, friends, or whatever for a day, go to Sierra's Cottage down there.
Do they have lakes and stuff?
Yeah.
Do they have lakes and stuff?
No, not lakes. It's almost like a little settings just drop on top of a kind of hill in the middle of nowhere.
They have cottages and breakfast and they have meals all day, and you'd have to come.
No. You have to take everything you carry. There's a room. There's a pool. There's a place about. It's just like an idyllic lyman spot. It's not somewhere you're gonna get service. Nobody's there to serve you. You have to do everything yourself.
No, I like service, you know.
You like service, yeah. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I like doing stuff for myself.
I prefer service.
Yeah. And when it comes to
treating, what's the point if you have to serve yourself?
Well, you know, as I say, I like serving people. So when we go there, I serve people, you know, and I serve myself. You know, so. But it's not. It's a really nice.
You all know that red is part of the national colors, right? You're all jumping at yourself this morning with this red.
Who you all? Is I
no, people, Morgan's on jump out already.
Oh, but I've never seen you in red.
No, that's not true.
No, I'm just telling you.
That's not true.
I've never seen you in red, Paul.
Oh, okay, that might be a true statement. You may have never seen me in red. I doubt that because I've worn red before and you've commented on it before.
Mm-hmm.
You must wear something looking like red, but this is red today. I must tease you about a burgundy or something, but this is red today. My red is so red it's actually a PNM jersey I have.
I like red. Good morning, Zena. Red is nice and slick money.
But I've had t-shirts from Paul 102 they're red. I've had t-shirts from Digicel they're red. T-shirts from so many different organizations that use red as their color.
The national colors are red, white, and black.
Yeah.
And red is the most prominent color on the national flag.
Yeah, for sure. No, I don't think anybody will hold it against you for wearing red this morning.
You'd be surprised. You'd be quite surprised.
No, they ought to be real petty.
If I wear red tie to Parliament, I get the answer to pecan.
They ought to be real petty.
Yeah, I won't doubt that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know you're voting today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
The peacock flying across.
Imagine you have to be that sensitive, eh?
Let me show you all something here. And I'm so particular about these things that I'm so politically correct.
Yeah.
A red bow tie. I don't know what's the color of the other one. Yellow?
Yellow with black polka dots and red with white polka dots. Is that it?
That's how politically correct I am.
Yeah. I have a yellow vest when I wear it. I get fatigue too, but I love wearing. I like yellow. I don't give a.
I've seen Mrs. Pasabi Sessa looking wonderful in red already.
She has worn red.
Full red outfit. So I mean, come on.
I doubt you'll get Dr. Rowley wearing yellow, but I've seen Mrs. Pasabi Sessa in red.
I don't think I've ever seen Dr. Rowley in anything yellow.
No, I've never seen him in anything yellow either.
Speaking yellow would not be in his wardrobe.
They may have come back from St. Vincent last night. I know they had a long day yesterday. So congratulations to CARICOM. I think what CARICOM pulled off yesterday was extremely commendable. I mean, extremely commendable that they got the leaders all in, not only Venezuela and Guyana, but all the leaders who were there to sign off on what is now termed the Argyle Agreement, which declares that the Caribbean is a zone of peace, and they will not do anything to escalate the situation. We will see how that goes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Prime Minister Dr. Rowley was there. Prime Minister Mia Mottley was there. And with their delegations. So yeah, it all went well. Let's hope it remains there. It's in the spirit of Christmas. Nobody wants to be in any kind of conflict during Christmas time. Trust me.
Really?
You know? Nobody.
Are you looking across the pond?
Well, yeah, but still,
You're talking about Putin too?
I'm sure they're all gonna take it down for Christmas.
Wendell, I have read news stories on Christmas Day about bombings and people dying. So don't hold your breath. I've read stories about people dying in crimes on Christmas Day in Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, yeah, you will get crime.
I'm saying well, I know that everybody has decided taking it down because it's Christmas. Anyway, let me just read some excerpts of the joint declaration of Argyle for dialogue and peace between Guyana and Venezuela. Quote, on Thursday, December 14th, 2023, in Argyle, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, His Excellency Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and His Excellency Nicolas Maduro, President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, held discussions on matters consequential to the territorial dispute between the two countries. These discussions facilitated by a whole list of prime ministers, right? I'm not going to read all of that. All parties attending meeting in Argyle and St. Vincent and the Grenadines reiterated their commitment to Latin America and Caribbean remaining a peace zone. Guyana and Venezuela declared as follows. 1. Agreed that Guyana and Venezuela directly or indirectly will not threaten or use force against one another in any circumstances, including those consequential to any existing controversies between two states. 2. Agreed that any controversies between the two states will be resolved in accordance with international law, according to the Geneva Agreement dated February 17th, 1966. 3. Committed to the pursuance of good neighborliness, peaceful coexistence, and unity of the Latin American and Caribbean community. 3. Noted Guyana's assertion that it is committed to the process and procedures of the International Court of Justice for the resolution of the border controversy. Noted Venezuela's assertion of its lack of consent and lack of recognition of the International Court of Justice and its jurisdiction in the border controversy. 5. Agreed to continue dialogue on any other pending matters of mutual importance to the two countries. 6. Agreed both states will refrain, whether by words or deeds, from escalating any conflict or disagreement arising from any controversy, and avoid incidents to the ground conducive to tensions between them. And I'm editing here because it's a lot. 7. Agreed to establish immediately a joint commission of foreign ministers and technical persons from the two states to address matters as mutually agreed. 8. Both states agreed that Prime Minister Ralph Gonzalez, pro tempore president of CELAC, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, the incumbent CARICOM chairman, President Luis Inácio Lula da Silva of Brazil, will remain seized on the matter as interlocutors, and the UN General Secretary Antonio Guterres as observers in the ongoing occurrence of Presidents Irfan Ali and Nicolas Maduro. 9. Both states agreed to meet again in Brazil within the next 3 months. 10. They expressed appreciation of the President Ministers. 11. And the appreciation of the government and the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for hosting the event dated the 14th of December, 2023. So they agreed not to misbehave for now.
Well, it'll take a lot out of Nicolas Maduro not to say anything, though. Eh?
He flew in on a military aircraft with Essequibo emblazoned on the tail. I mean, if that is not provocation, what is?
Yeah, that man don't care. He just don't care.
Into the peace talks with a military aircraft with Essequibo emblazoned on the tail. I mean,
Yeah.
I really hope that they stick to it and they are able to resolve this amicably. I don't think any of that. Let me not put any sourness in it. Let's hope for the best.
Yeah, let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best.
It's really an acknowledgement of what just happened yesterday and a commitment to continue talking about it. But they have fundamental differences on how they intend to proceed. So
yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
Well,
and the Guyanese president has said that they will continue to exploit the resources in that region because in their mind it's theirs. So,
you know, I think I heard you and Richard briefly discuss yesterday between well, I had a lot to do yesterday morning, so I listened to you all partially about a scheme called Get GXL. Get GXL. Now, I didn't see that until very late when it all came crashing down. And I listened to a video this morning. I listened to a presentation this morning. That it'll be interesting if I can just play it. It's not very long. It's a young man who did a video blog. Marcus, I think he's in the media. I know him from the media. I think it's Marcus is his name, Gonzalez. He's a member of the media, but he had a most interesting thing to say about this Get GXL. I don't know. I heard you, I think, Paul, saying some of your friends were trying to encourage you. Yeah. Nobody comes around me with them stupidness, eh? I'm telling you that. Nobody comes around.
I run them and I call all three of them Wednesday and tell them, y'all, I'm very disappointed in all of you because I told you about this. And I know each of you encourage people to join this nonsense.
Yeah. Okay. So apparently, whoever came up with this scheme got 10,000 Trinidadians to invest $13,500 each.
No, that you didn't have to invest $13,500. There were varying tiers starting at $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, etc.
Right. So that's what was explained. That you keep reinvesting money. Let me see if I can play it. I'm just playing it, right? It's just here in audio, right? Hold on.
It's people desperate for quick money.
Let me play it. Let me play it.
You play back your one message.
These people went away with. Now it had different levels in this Get GXL thing, right? So I'm telling you, I want to pay a certain amount again, $20 every day in returns. I mean, I went through it already, as I told already before, right? But this Get GXL was so insidious. You know what I did? They told people, right? They tell people, right? They say reinvest your money. And then after that, people start putting the money, they start putting the money. Now, all that time is fake money, eh? Fake returns, eh? They tell them put back in the money. They put back in the money. I'm shocked now, some of them start to take all the money again. The money they pay now. That is just to keep the illusion real. You know, the come up with that, the last part of the scheme was to say, to get maximum returns, you must invest $13,500 and it only have 10,000 spots available to get maximum returns. And guess what Trinidad and Tobago did? They went out and get it $13,500 and filled the 10,000 spots. And as soon as those 10,000 spots were filled, Get GXL crashed. That means the man take all the money and he run. Whoever the man is behind Get GXL. As soon as those 10,000 spots were filled, it was over. That's it. Tobago Channel 5 News, that's what you did. Yes, sir? And when you do the calculations, 13,000 multiplied by 10,000, 13,500 multiplied by 10,000.
I just did it.
Is $135
million.
Imagine that.
And that man gone. I only want to cost Rowley, and Rowley at the place had all your money to waste.
Yeah, I run my three friends. I said, don't come on me with that nonsense. I said, do not. One was saying I will put the 1,500. I just want your name on the list. Remember, the more names is the more thing, eh? Because I got me back. I said, if you put my name on any list, me and you will never speak again, and I will call the police for you.
How in heaven's name could people be so gullible still? How?
Brendel, do not use the word gullible.
I'm trying to be radio friendly.
Dotish.
Stupid. Idiotic.
Stupid.
Oh my
And
God.
you like it tough. Because you have to be stupid to think if you have a bucket of water and the bucket is half filled and you put in 2 cups, you expect to get out 10 different cups more than what in the bucket?
Yeah.
And if you get it out, don't you think somebody else is going to suffer?
My God.
Because that's the premise on which a Ponzi scheme in payment is built, you know.
Yes.
That you get in early enough, get your money and run out, and whoever you're encouraging the dotishness get catch.
Yes. They should lock
This
up all
is
of them.
like pyramid Ponzi scheme number 506,022 in Trinidad and Tobago. I know yesterday again catch you that dotishness.
No, man.
And the other spin to the story, you know. No, it comes along with a part where you are buying products and putting it on a shelf to sell, and you're getting money from that to try and legitimize the dotishness. So you do look like a fool. You understand? And you get your things in cryptocurrency, and you get an account, one set of dotishness.
So just take your money, go and buy, according to Marcus, because at the end he said it. Go and buy some water. Go and buy some bottles of water and resell it. Go and buy some lingerie and resell it. Go and buy. I see these people coming around. Because they come in by me almost every day on the main road, right? They're either selling wash rags or some chocolate or kurma. You name it, they come in all the time. We have 2 nutsmen, Jumbo and an ex-fella, Rastaman, that's coming by us every single day. I buy from these people most times. I would support them because you know what? They're actually buying and selling. They're
actually doing something decent and honest and above board. So I will always try to give them as a sale.
Yeah.
But you don't come at me with that dotish get JLX, and I think months ago they come around them.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to make my call now.
All right.
You understand? It is just all at this point with the number of times this has happened. Well, you're still getting catch with that dotishness.
Yes.
And then when the whole thing crashed now, one of them say, well, I get back my money. So you ain't care about the bully dragon.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you ain't care about all the bully encouraging this dotishness. Who gets shafted? You're good.
Wasn't it around this time of the year too when there were long lines by residents?
It's always around this time of the year because they time it. They started in August.
Yeah.
Build up from August, September, and crash in December. It's like clockwork.
So you think you will get money for Christmas?
For Christmas.
Yeah. In the middle of COVID, we had long lines of people by our residents in La Joqueta 1 year.
Yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, I do have Dr. Amory Brown online. Good morning to you, Minister. How are you?
Hi, good morning. I'm well, thank you. A little bit.
Good morning, Minister Brown.
Today is a new day, and certainly yesterday was a day of great importance for our region.
Yes. All right. So we have Paul Richards and Wendell, and Richard will join us in a short.
Morning, Dr. Brown.
Hi, good morning, sir.
All right.
Well, let me say congratulations, first of all, to the entire contingent of regional leaders and support staff, because I knew you were support staff in terms of the signing of the Argyle Declaration. Give us a sense of, well, it was clearly a long day and an intense discussion with both leaders coming out supporting, well, all leaders coming out supporting the declaration. Give us a sense from the mood of the meeting yesterday. I saw St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister, Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, escorting both Dr. Ali and President Maduro, and Maduro, out of their aircraft and into the meeting. What was the mood like at the start of that exchange?
Okay, thank you. So we would have gotten into St. Vincent at around 9 a.m. Direct from Trinidad and Tobago, and we would have returned home at about 10 p.m. And on arrival in St. Vincent, we had a considerable wait. Well, first of all, the venue for this meeting was actually at the airport, Argyle Airport, and it was hosted at the Diplomatic Lounge. So there was some limited space, and then there were other rooms where the two principal delegations would have been arranged to wait at various times during the day. So basically, the CARICOM heads plus one, which in most cases was the foreign minister, were gathered, had an initial discussion facilitated by Ralph Gonzalez and Roosevelt Skerritt in their respective capacities as president of CELAC and chairman of CARICOM. And then we had a meeting. Then that meeting was joined by President Ali, who was given the opportunity to present some elements, broad elements of his case and position. They would have left the room. The Guyanese delegation would have left the room, and then President Maduro would have come in, and we, in like fashion, would have engaged an initial discussion with President Maduro, where he would have presented some broad elements of his position and his case. And subsequent to that, CARICOM had some discussion, interaction, and then the face-to-face meeting initiated where both delegations with both leaders came in to that same space, joined us. The meeting was then fortified by the presence of personal envoy and special advisor to President Lula, the United Nations chef de cabinet of the Secretary General of the UN, and several other key diplomats then also joined the meeting. President Maduro and President Ali sat face-to-face across a very narrow table, so close proximity. And that component of the event lasted a considerable period of time. There were interventions, questions, suggestions from the various leaders and CARICOM heads around the table, certainly including Prime Minister Keith Rowley, which helped move the discussion along. We formulated a draft of a declaration, which was then refined and distilled, first of all, in discussion with the leaders, and then in a smaller breakout technical group, which really focused on finalizing the language. We initially focused on areas of clear agreement. There was some that were non-controversial, language about region of peace, etc. And then some that were much more difficult, such as references to the International Court of Justice and other areas of disagreement. In the end, I would say the meeting was quite successful in that a joint declaration was agreed upon, and critically, issues such as, and we can go through it if you wish, issues such as use of force, threat of the use of force were clearly codified in this declaration. Issues such as a mechanism for continued dialogue, treatment of consequential issues, establishment of a joint commission of the respective foreign ministers, agreement on next steps in terms of where the next meeting would occur, the roles of various supporting elements in this process of de-escalation and tension reduction, all of which were agreed upon and publicly announced.
Dr. Brown.
Was a key step.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of words like agreed and agreement. Was there at any point in time disagreement in that room?
Yes, significant areas of disagreement. There was strong at the beginning of the face-to-face. There was strong disagreement about how each side characterized the actions of the other. And so I would say that was the most difficult part of the meeting. Exchanges of some very frank and sharp views, and characterizations that were very much colored by the respective positions and the water under the bridge, the communiques, public accusations, actions, reactions. The declaration, as I would have indicated, the references to the ICJ particularly were resisted by the Venezuelan side, and that was one of the key areas of disagreement, and we had to find a formula where those references, because there was insistence by the Guyana side that those references were essential.
Did it ever threaten to derail the talks at any point in time?
No, I would say the atmosphere in the room was of sufficient maturity and calm, and there was a clear sense across the board that we were engaged in a very important process. There was a seriousness, almost a heaviness in the room where it would have been, I would say, very difficult for someone to, walk out and that type of thing. The stage was really set for productivity, and I would say the presence of peers, a counterpart, would have made a difference. Presence and involvement of CARICOM at a significant level was present. I could tell you, of course, Roosevelt Skerrit, Ralph Gonsalves as host, Philip Davis, Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Mia Motley of Barbados, Steve Rowley, of course, of Trinidad and Tobago, Dickon Mitchell of Grenada, Philip Hay of St. Lucia, Dr. Terence Drew of St. Kitts and Nevis, and you had other individuals such as the Foreign Minister of Colombia, the Vice Minister of Honduras, the personal envoy of President Lula, and key representatives of the UN Secretary General. So I would say that really set the stage and provided an environment of a steady progress, of productivity, respectful exchange in the main, and ultimately an outcome that CARICOM is quite pleased with. I think the meeting, frankly, exceeded expectations, and there is some grounds for optimism that all that can be done has been done, at least on the occasion of this Thursday, for a reduction in tension.
Dr. Brown, one of the 11 points agreed. One of the 11 points agreed upon was the agreement between both countries and leaders not to escalate in either word or deed, given what has transpired so far up to the point of them signing and agreeing to the declaration. What was that like, and how is that expected to unfold, given the pronouncements on both sides and the systems that seem to be already in train in Venezuela in particular?
Yeah, well, that language was deemed very important because there have been communications, words exchanged verbally in media conferences and in writing via communiques, etc. And there have been deeds where, actions, bills, declarations, decisions have been made, appointments have been made, all quite focused on the controversial Essequibo issue. And therefore, this particular phrasing was an element of the declaration designed to mitigate that particular trend, because it was deemed that those words and those actions have contributed in a negative fashion to the current environment, or the environment that preceded this meeting and contributed to a sense of fear within certain parts of the region, certainly within Guyana and Essequibo, and this impending sense that overt hostility and conflict was a possibility.
Had there been discussed what would constitute actions related to words or deeds that would be not in keeping with that? For example, Guyana's president, Dr. Irfaan Ali, has already indicated post the meeting that Guyana will continue to exploit the resources in Essequibo. Would that perhaps be considered an act not in keeping with that declaration?
I don't think that any reasonable interpretation, particularly based on the flow of the meeting, where those points were presented at the meeting itself and acknowledged. So Guyana would certainly proceed in that manner. Venezuela would proceed with its position that it is not participating in the ICJ processes. It was very clear it would not respect the ruling, or it does not consider the ICJ's ruling binding upon Venezuela and its view of the border dispute, and clearly there would be further reversion to the Geneva Agreement of 1966. There were lots of discussions around those details, and I would say some additional transparency in terms of the perspectives of each side and how they view the present and even the future. So you've honed in on one of the most subjective aspects, Senator, and really that is where there is some need to monitor, and you would see in the Argyle Declaration, there are mechanisms whereby those who, if there's a view that there's a breach or an incident that take place conducive to increased tension, there is a mechanism where both states have agreed to communicate directly with each other and with CARICOM and with CELAC and with President Lula with a view to avoid that action, reaction, escalation, tension, and possible impending conflict.
How important is this, Dr. Brown, for CARICOM as a region, as a global body? Let me call it a global body. Let me describe it as a global body. We usually do it as a regional body in the context of the EU, the G8, etc., to be this responsive to an emerging potential existential threat in the region, and being able to convene such a meeting after last Friday's meeting so quickly and have this sort of declaration signed and agreed to.
This is fundamental to CARICOM. This, in my view, elevates CARICOM's value and status, reinforces the relevance of the Caribbean community to our region, to our hemisphere, and to the world. Toward the end of the meeting, I had a direct discussion with the chef de cabinet of the UN president, the Secretary General of the United Nations, and he said, this is quite unusual, where basically the leadership within the region has gathered and has sought to head off what appeared to be almost a sense of inevitability about a very negative outcome. And certainly by the end of this process, which you would recall was designed and engineered by CARICOM in a CARICOM heads meeting just last week, Friday, 1 week ago. And as we stand here today, there is a greater sense of optimism, there is some sense of relief, and certainly within the controversial region of Essequibo, it is my view that citizens and families are feeling, went to sleep last night and woke up this morning feeling that the leadership of the region cares about them and has taken actions relevant to their future and their prosperity. So this really was deemed very important at the end, and there was there were several handshakes between the two presidents at the center of this, and it is our hope that this framework would contribute to a sense of calm and to engender a feeling of collective responsibility for what happened next.
Dr. Brown.
There's a prospect when we return to our various domestic environments. There are various factors there that can lead to a rekindling of some of these tensions. There can be sharp exchanges once again, but the Argyll Agreement sought to factor that in and to provide mechanisms should that happen.
Dr. Brown, I want you to take off, just for a brief moment, your ministerial hat, your diplomatic hat, and give us a sense of how you felt about the body language that you read in that room. Because I know that Nicolas Maduro, President Maduro, would have had to have used an interpreter, right? So you would have had the opportunity to just sit and look at him. What was the body language like? Give me your sense of what you felt.
First of all, I don't normally take off my hat because I'm not in my personal capacity. But let me try my best to respond because I think I understand.
In other words, if I had met you,
you're listening.
Right. If I'd met you whilst I was cutting grass at Flagstaff and we
you don't need to elaborate. I understand what you're getting at. So I would say at the beginning there was a sense that there was a risk that this would not go well at all. The two leaders, there was a greeting as they entered the room because they basically entered the room almost simultaneously for the face-to-face. There was a very, very awkward exchange between the two of them. Not hostile at all, but extremely awkward. And I quietly wondered, I said to myself, I hope this is not captured on video because it was extremely awkward. And then in their initial presentations, facing each other across the table, it was heavy, my friends. It was very heavy. There was some very loaded language. There were some accusations going in both directions. But again, the atmosphere and the presence of so much leadership in the room and the interventions from time to time by these leaders, CARICOM prime ministers and others, really, the process worked. It really did work. And as the exchanges proceeded and the afternoon proceeded, there was a genuine sense that that weight in the room was slowly being lifted. You saw smiles more frequently on the faces of the two leaders at the center of this. They started referring to each other once again as my friend across the table, and you really saw a progression in a positive direction. And the handshakes at the end were much more, carried much more feeling and meaning and sincerity from my perspective than that very awkward exchange at the beginning. So
how much do you think this positions Caribbean leaders as global change agents? We are very often underestimating the Caribbean as products of the colonial system and followers of the colonizers in many instances, and looking for the first world countries to lead. And when you see the kind of conflict around the world, you do not usually see this kind of responsiveness and or outcome. How much is this to you a sign that the Caribbean region in particular is coming into its own in a global space in its ability to confront significant issues in this kind of manner?
This was a seminal moment for CARICOM. CARICOM definitely has risen to the occasion. I was filled with a sense of pride that our regional community, our heads of government, have demonstrated a degree of maturity, a degree of restraint. You would have seen in the build-up to this meeting, and even during the meeting, there was no sense of individualism. No one tried to showboat or insert themselves as a messiah in this very difficult and centuries-old challenge. But the community has worked together. We continue to work together, and that is what really set the formula right for some degree of success in St. Vincent on Thursday of this week. So I am very proud of CARICOM. I also frankly have the view that what we have been reaping is some of the reward for the energy that we've all put into this regional family in the last several years, taking the community through COVID and, that period when even TNT was in the chair of CARICOM. And we had that sharing and exchange of vaccines and technical expertise during the pandemic, which was unprecedented. We negotiated together with the African Union and other elements during the pandemic. Then we proceeded here to Port of Spain in the middle of this year, where we celebrated together. All the leadership came. There was some deep reflections on what 50 years means. Many regional entities have collapsed completely during their early stages. We've survived and thrived half a century after CARICOM's formation, and we looked ahead. Little did we know that we would be in St. Vincent huddling together to solve to help solve such a major challenge. But I would say we reap the fruits of a commitment to regional solidarity, and as opposed to looking elsewhere for examples of leadership and crisis management, we ourselves are being regarded. We in humble little CARICOM are being regarded as exemplars of how to handle business like this within the region, and I am filled with pride. Now, this is not just closing eyes and celebrating positivity, because the situation, the circumstances, and the fundamentals of this controversy remain very much in place. Mm-hmm. But I think we've done the best that could be done in these circumstances, and there's a genuine opportunity now for these leaders, these two states and this regional community, to have an immediate future which is a lot less tense and a lot less risky than it would have been a few days ago.
Let me end by being selfish in terms of me being a Trinidadian and Tobagonian national, and how important this is for Trinidad Tobago, which has significant interests in both countries. I know it's important for the region in terms of being a zone of peace, but for us geographically, proximally, etc., how important was this for us to be involved, one, and for this resolution of a peace zone, and for both leaders to be able to work together, given our direct interests in both jurisdictions?
Well, I would want to begin with our broader interests. Trinidad and Tobago is a close neighbor, the closest neighbor within CARICOM to both of these states, Venezuela and Guyana. Trinidad and Tobago is also the birthplace of the Caribbean community. And I mentioned my pride in the conduct of the region's leadership. Of course, as a national of this country and a member of the government, I was moved by a great sense of pride in Prime Minister Rowley's role. He was not the quiet, silent person in the room, very active in his interventions, very wise. He's one of the most experienced in the region, very wise in his exchanges during the course of this meeting and in the build-up to this meeting in St. Vincent as well. So again, I was very proud of the role of Trinidad and Tobago, not as on a foray of its own, working in extremely close collaboration with the rest of the regional family. But yes, this is important to us. First of all, given our proximity, and second, given our connections. We're not the only ones, but given our extensive connections with both member states. Remember, we've been working very hard on the issue of regional food security. That remains on the front burner. And Guyana is critical in the leadership of that particular agenda. Trinidad and Tobago has been playing a very active role. And I would say that working together on that matter has even helped to bring us closer to Guyana and its government. So there's a lot going on there, many moving parts. And of course, you know, the fundamental connections that we've had for generations, for centuries with Venezuela as well, and the prospect of some very, very important commercial connections that can make a tremendous difference to the development of Trinidad and Tobago years into the future. So it certainly is in our interest as a regional community to have taken the steps that we have taken. And it is in the interest of national interest of Trinidad and Tobago, and as part of our responsibility to CARICOM, that we've been full and consistent and productive contributors to these most recent accomplishments.
As we let you go, quick comment. Is Dr. Rowley expected to attend the funeral of the late Marlene McDonald and your good self later on this morning?
I cannot give comment on the Prime Minister's movement and direct schedule. But what I can tell you is that I believe that funeral will be extremely well attended, given the long period of contribution and the impactful personality and political life of the late Marlene McDonald, who many persons are mourning right across Trinidad.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. We appreciate your time this morning and contribution, and congratulations to you and the team and the entire CARICOM region for yesterday's events and outcome.
And do have a Merry Christmas.
I appreciate that. Same to you and yours. And I know I don't have to invite your ongoing attention to these matters, but I can indicate my continued willingness to engage with the program, have discussion, provide updates wherever I can. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Brown, for taking your busy schedule. Thank you so much. All the best to you. And if we don't speak to you, I want to wish you season's greetings and all the best for 2024.
Same to you and your families and to the listeners, the people of Trinidad. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Minister Brown. All the best.
Yep. Of course, that was Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Dr. Amory Brown, weighing in on what happened at Argyle, the declaration of Argyle that took place yesterday in St. Vincent. All right. Of course, the Guardian headline today reads about the how I should put it. All of it is ours. That's what the Guardian headline says today. Guyana president refuses to budge on Essequibo dispute. Meeting with Venezuela's Maduro brings little change. CARICOM heads hopeful dialogue and peace will continue. That's the main headline in today's Guardian. All right.
Well, we get into headlines after our 7 o'clock major news. All right.
Is
We're
it
going to get
7
into
o'clock already?
Yeah, so we're going to get into our major news right now. Avison Hill Bab Lynch is in.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
Guyana and Venezuelan presidents sign Argyle agreement rejecting violence over Essequibo dispute. President Ali of Guyana says the country will not retreat on its position. All of Essequibo belongs to the country at a meeting with President Maduro in Venezuela. Tunapuna Piarco Regional Corporation explains its reasoning behind its demolition of unstructured structure in Bamboo No. 2 Main Road, Val, saying Han Police Service assures of safety and security during the Christmas and Carnival season. Details in a moment. This is news to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. I'm Avril Sintel Bab. Good morning. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and Guyanese President Dr. Irfan Ali both agreed to reject any threat of violence in their dispute over the Essequibo region and to refrain from any escalation of the disagreement. Late on Thursday night, Maduro posted on Twitter or X a copy of the Argyle Declaration agreed by both leaders after earlier talks in St. Vincent under the auspices of CARICOM, the Community of Latin America and the Caribbean, CELAC, Brazil, and the UN. Maduro posted it with the caption, "Excellent day of dialogue." The declaration said all parties present had committed to Latin America and the Caribbean as a zone of peace. Speaking on the Power Breakfast show early this morning, Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Dr. Amory Brown explained what occurred in hammering out the agreement.
Clear agreement. There was some that were non-controversial, language about region of peace, etc. And then some that were much more difficult, such as references to the International Court of Justice and other areas of disagreement. In the end, I would say the meeting was quite successful in that a joint declaration was agreed upon, and critically, issues such as, and we can go through it if you wish, issues such as use of force, threat of the use of force were clearly codified in this declaration.
However, he said that while all parties involved were happy with the declaration, there were disagreements between both parties.
Yes, significant areas of disagreement. There was strong at the beginning of the face-to-face. There was strong disagreement about how each side characterized the actions of the other, and so I would say that was the most difficult part of the meeting. Exchanges of some very frank and sharp views, and characterizations that were very much colored by the respective positions and the water under the bridge, the communiques, public accusations, actions, reactions. The declaration, as I would have indicated, the references to the ICJ particularly were resisted by the Venezuelan side, and that was one of the key areas of disagreement, and we had to find a formula where those references, because there was an insistence by the Guyana side that those references were essential.
Guyana and Venezuela agreed not to use nor threaten to use force directly or indirectly in any dispute between them, but to rely on international law, including the 1966 Geneva Agreement. They committed to good neighborliness, peaceful coexistence, and unity of the LAC region. The two nations agreed to not escalate any controversy between them, but to report any incident arising to CARICOM, CELAC, and Brazil. Guyana and Venezuela agreed to meet in 3 months' time in Brazil or otherwise as agreed. A joint commission will be set up between Guyana and Venezuela on the controversy within 3 months. The declaration noted Guyana's support and Venezuela's rejection of the role of the International Court of Justice in adjudicating the dispute. Well, Guyana President Irfan Ali says he made it clear to the Venezuelan president during their meeting in St. Vincent yesterday there is no retreating on his country's position on the Essequibo region belonging to Guyana. He said Guyana will not be shifting from its position before the International Court of Justice. President Ali made the remarks at a news briefing at the Argyle International Airport in St. Vincent.
We reiterated our position. That is in relation to our land boundary That matter is before the ICJ, and there is absolutely no retreat by Guyana in ensuring that this matter is determined by the ICJ, and that the outcome of this matter at the ICJ be respected by all.
Mr. Ali said Guyana will continue to exploit the resources within its territorial space. The president said CARICOM has remained firm in its position that it is supportive of Guyana and the case before the International Court of Justice. He also noted the two sides have agreed to remain committed to ensuring that the region remains a place of peace. The Tunapuna-Piarco Regional Corporation says it informed representatives of the Bamboo No. 2 Community Council during a meeting on December 1st of plans to demolish the unauthorized structure built on the Bamboo No. 2 Main Road, Valsain. The corporation said this had to be done due to its location and the risk posed to the motoring public. It said it was made clear to the representatives, should there be no compliance with the notice to demolish the corporation, it would be removed, or the structure would be removed. The corporation also proposed the deployment of CCTV cameras to address the security issues in the community. It said both parties agreed to work together to find feasible options for the implementation of increased security measures and to address other needs of the community. It said the representatives of the council made it clear they are not affiliated in any way with the unstructured structure. President General of the National Trade Union Center, Michael Anisat, said the unions will work with the new president of the Industrial Court, Heather Seal, despite their disapproval of how outgoing President Deborah Thomas Felix was treated. Seal was appointed as president of the Industrial Court on Wednesday after the term of Thomas Felix came to an end on Tuesday. NATOC and the Joint Trade Union Movement raised concerns about the non-renewal of Thomas Felix's contract. Anisat said, however, whoever they put as president, they are willing to work with her and respect the office. He said the issue they have is the manner in which she was removed, Deborah Thomas Felix. Yesterday, the All Trinidad General Workers' Trade Union came out in support of Seal. In a statement, ATGWU President General Nirvan Maharaj also paid homage to Thomas Felix for her firm, unwavering, and sterling contribution to the court. Late former PNM MP and Minister Marlene MacDonald the funeral will be held this morning at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception in Port of Spain, followed by a burial at the Western Cemetery in St. James. This was confirmed by members of MacDonald's former PNM Port of Spain South constituency, who noted that both the church and cemetery are located within MacDonald's former constituency. The service will begin at 10 a.m. today. There is expected to be full attendance by PNM top brass, including the party's political leader and Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, and members of other party units, as well as Port of Spain South members. Also expected to attend are opposition MPs. Following the service, MacDonald will be buried at the Western Cemetery. MacDonald died last Friday at the St. Clair Medical Center. She had been ailing for some time. You are listening to news on Power 102 Digital to 7 o'clock. The police service is assuring the population they can feel safe coming into the capital city to do business, shop, or other legitimate activities. This update came from Assistant Commissioner of Police Winston Maharaj while speaking during the weekly TTPS news briefing held on Thursday at Police Administration Building in Port of Spain. Maharaj said various activities will be held to ensure safety going into the festive Christmas season and the hectic carnival period. He said proactive measures have been put in place to guard against criminal activities in the capital city.
We have identified several areas in the city, the traditional ones, and we see some non-traditional areas where some activity is taking place, and we have put the proactive measures in place to mitigate against any eventualities. So I want the public to be assured to be comforted with the fact that the police understands its mandate and holds true to fulfilling that mandate to provide that environment of safety and security.
He said there are also external stakeholders involved in the effort, and there will be an increase in the presence and visibility of officers.
Foot patrol is a big part of the initiative. Mounted patrols which involves the use of the canines, the dogs, for searches of persons and vehicles, those opportunists that want to come into the city because they too want to apply their trade, albeit crime and criminality. And we have to mitigate against that.
Well, finally, here's weather news for the period today till midnight. Trinidad and Tobago, sunny and breezy conditions are expected apart from a brief shower. Tonight will be fair and cool. Some additional marine information. Spring tide is in effect, so all marine interests are being advised to exercise caution, especially during high tide. Look out for a forecast maximum temperature of 31 degrees Celsius, both at Piarco International Airport and Crown Point in Tobago. Currently, it is 24 degrees Celsius at Piarco International Airport and 25 degrees Celsius at Crown Point, Tobago. Recapping your headlines at 7 o'clock, Guyana and Venezuelan presidents sign Argyle agreement rejecting violence over Essequibo dispute. Meanwhile, President Ali says Guyana will not retreat on its position. All of Essequibo belongs to that country. Tunapuna Piarco Regional Corporation explains its reasoning behind demolition of unstructured structure in Bamboo Number 2, and police service assures of safety and security during the Christmas and Carnival season. I'm Avril Cynthia Bab. That was news to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. Look out for more news in detail at 12 noon today and an update coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. For more details, log on to power102fm.com.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
All right. Thank you, Avril, for our major news. Thank you so much. Of course, you can join her again. Come at 8 o'clock for our news brief. Okay? All right. Quickly, let's take a look at what's happening on the highways and on the byways at this time. It is 14 and a half minutes after the hour, 7 o'clock. This is pretty much the middle of the month. The 15th day of December. Let's go out east. Go to Santa Rosa, got some volume. Trinity City towards Orange Grove also got some volume. After that, it's pretty much clear sailing straight into Port of Spain. Nothing out of the west. Nothing on the eastern main road. That is clear. Head down San Fernando. Nothing. Going to Claxton Bay. That's where you got a little traffic. Rivulet Road is not too bad. Leaving Calcutta is just a bit of volume. Chaguanas Main Road is a heavy spot. But that's it. Nothing to tell you about there whatsoever. All right. All right, guys. So we're back in. Of course, we didn't do a poll as yet, and I still have the poll results. Let me bring you guys back in before I give that out. Okay.
Yes, so welcome back to the Power Breakfast Show.
Oh, there's Richie Rich. Morning to you, my friend.
Hi, morning. I mean, I just kept silent because the interview was in full swing at the point that I came in.
Yeah.
So, but
you were there all the time?
Yeah, I just didn't turn on my camera.
Oh, I
But,
didn't see a name come up.
Oh, I don't know if your name doesn't come up when you know. Your name should
Well,
still be there.
It should still be there, but with a blank space. Like that. Yeah. I didn't see that
I was
at
just
all.
listening to the interview.
Look, somebody rolling up their eyes at you there.
Yeah, one of the pictures on the newspapers today was a picture of President Ali looking intently and almost ferociously at President Maduro as he shakes his hand, and President Maduro not meeting his eye contact, looking away, as if looking in the distance. That's the picture. That to me says it all. If you want body language, Wendell, that to me says it all.
Well, you heard me ask Dr. Brown about that, right?
Yes, I heard. So I said that picture was in itself was instructive of body language. And it sends the message. I am not very trustful of President Maduro and Venezuela, and how. Let me say, I'm very cautious about what they say, because they will say it's a zone of peace and can be provocative, as they have been in terms of what they have said, that causes the escalation of activity at the border. I'm trying to choose my words, and then we'll say it's not them escalating anything. It's obviously the Americans and the Guyanese. You understand?
Yeah.
But we'll do and say things to provoke that kind of response, which has been their playbook thus far. This is actually the pictures on the front page of the Express this morning. I don't know if you're seeing it clearly.
Yeah.
I'll pull back a little bit.
Well, kinda. It is. Right. There you go. Stay there.
Right.
Yeah. So you're seeing it. So you're seeing you see what I'm talking about? That President Ali is looking at him very almost ferociously, intense, and he's looking away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I felt that picture captured what I thought probably is
the photographer probably click about 100 pictures then and use that one, eh? You know that, right? That's how that works, right?
So, well, I mean, President Ali was very adamant and very vocal in terms of how he saw it, and wearing the wristband that says "This is Guyana." And even when the interpreter was interpreting, he was much more, at least on the news last night, he was certainly the much more adamant of the two, at least, and how it came across.
Well, because he has the backing of the US and the UK and so on. He knows.
I know. So what I'm saying, he was not stepping back at all, and he held up that and said, this is it.
Yeah.
But in other news, I know I don't know if we're doing the poll, if we're doing papers or anything, but I see that 3% of the TTPS vehicles are going to be outfitted with dash cams as a pilot project.
Dash cams?
You
mean dash cams, something that's been out for the last 20, 30 years?
Right.
TTPS now getting them?
Didn't, Richard, some of these vehicles already have cameras on top of their vehicle that is installed by Gary Griffin. None of them work.
I'm just reading it as indicated in the newspapers today. That as part of a pilot project, the TTPS is installing dash cams in 3% of its fleet.
3%?
3%.
That's amazing.
As part of a pilot project. Now, pilot projects in Trinidad could go on for years. You all know this, right?
Yeah.
Pilot projects in Trinidad is not a month, or
but
2 months or 3 months,
project?
Pilot project is years, can potentially be years. But that was in the newspapers today.
But I hope they get the kind of dash cam that I have that you could talk to and tell it swing right, swing left, film inside the vehicle. I hope they get that one.
Yeah, that dash cam you have, I was reading up on it. It's a pretty good one.
It's one of the best.
Yeah.
My dash cam will tell me, Sam, smile, I'm about to take a picture, and it swings all the way around and clicks. It does it on its own. It tells me when I'm approaching a vehicle, when I'm approaching a pedestrian, when I'm approaching a cyclist. It recognizes bicycles, everything it recognizes.
What's the brand name for that?
I'll send. Didn't I send that to you already?
No. I've never seen that.
I'll send it. I'll send it.
I've never seen a dash cam in my house.
I sent it to a couple people who had asked me about it last time I spoke about it.
No, I don't know that.
And if the traffic, if you're not paying attention and you're in traffic and the vehicles ahead of you move off, it tells you that the vehicle ahead of you has moved off.
So wake up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, gentlemen, I have to give the results of our morning poll from yesterday. Yesterday, we asked you, do you think this in Vincent talks with Presidents Ali and Maduro, will it be tangible results? That was our poll yesterday. Results after this.
This is the season of giving, and you can give the holiday happiness to your loved ones. Send and receive more with MoneyGram. Share the joy with your loved ones and make Christmas extra special this year. With every MoneyGram transfer, this Christmas you have the chance to win a cash voucher. Share the joy of the season with your loved ones. Visit any MoneyGram agent location or Massey stores nationwide for details. And check our Facebook and Instagram page. This promotion has been approved by the NLCB.
All right. Do you think this St. Vincent's talk with President Ali and Maduro will bear tangible results? Well, 75% of you all, 75 said no.
Are the dash cams that Wendell has, do they tell you to get that woman out your car is not your wife too?
Do they tell you what?
Get that woman out your car that is not your wife?
Well, no, remember that dash cam swinging around every now and then and taking pictures.
Yes, it does.
So
It does.
that is not even a contemplated possibility.
I don't know why you all wasted 7 minutes of your time just now talking about the TPS and these dash cams as if it's innovation that they have to do a pilot project.
Yeah.
We have jurisdictions around the world that have drones following criminals. I don't even why or you waste that 7 minutes talking about a pilot project like the body cams because Alexander will go on TV, he come back and say they buy the wrong dash cams.
Yeah.
So it's a waste of 7 minutes. Now they make this grand announcement that in 2023 they have a pilot project for dash cams. I think that should be a pilot project. Look, you ease me up, eh?
Yeah.
Well, let me give you more specifics since you want to know, Paul. Apparently, the TTPS acquired 100 dashboard cameras as of October 16th. And as of October 16th, 50 had been installed.
But look
So
at that.
put that in your pipe and smoke it.
50, a whole 50,
50
Paul.
have been rapidly installed since October 16th.
Isn't that amazing?
You want performance? Take performance in your prefer.
And not he notice he didn't say parfum, he said parfum. He gave it the French pronunciation of it. Parfum.
I don't know that I have a preference.
They have a
So I want to ask this morning if you think the Argyle declaration will hold, and we could open phones.
Yes, let's ask.
Banning the de-escalation in word and deed. Let me tell you, Maduro called back and say that was a good photo up. Let's do what we have to do.
Yeah. I was actually going to ask Dr. Brown if at the end they did a gift exchange for Christmas in the spirit of Christmas and so on. Because I think CARICOM could feel proud though that they pulled off some sort of emergency summit. They can feel proud about that, but I don't know if
No, Wendell. I commend them, but the one who went through all of this is Dr. Ralph Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Walk Maduro and walk Ali from the planes into the airport. Major photo up. Come on.
That should hold him
Politicians
another
are
5 years.
politicians.
That should hold him another 5 years.
That should hold him another 5 years. Come on. Please. Or you don't understand, you know.
Let's try and be nice. Come on.
Be nice, gentlemen. Be nice. Let's say good morning, good out to Randy Kelly.
That is nice. Very nice.
No, like the guy, Ruben should have it. It's
Nice. It's very nice.
Yeah. So good morning to Randy Kelly, Roland Bahadur. Good morning, Kuwin Duke, Brenda Isaac, Tammy Cumberbatch. Good morning, Wayne B, Rena Budu Jennings, Dancing Queen. Good morning, Trillian Boston, Beauty Culture, Alistair Hart, Marcia Rock, who woke up late. Morning, Marcia. Wayne B, John Tonkin, Ian Robley.
John Tonkin, I think, is in Australia, isn't he?
Yes, he is. So good morning down under in Australia. Alison Richards. Wendell, what? Can you also send me the cam info? Okay.
Yeah.
Leo
As soon as I get it, I'll talk about it again.
Yeah. Miss Sampson, Chris Toussaint, good morning.
And Leo Henry.
Yeah. Michael, good morning. And of course, Mo Gaines. Hello to you as well. He also wants, please get the info. Well, I could just tell you what it is. Let me find. I had it when he pulled it up.
Yeah. Steve will quicker find it. I have to go outside. But it's really an amazing dashcam. It really is an amazing device. And you could actually go online and download footage. It does several
Don't call me, people. Do not call me.
It detects your personality, I think, at the end of the day, and it operates like that. You know?
I want to spit out this coffee myself, yeah?
So with you, Paul, that dashcam swinging around in that car plenty.
And why is that, Wendell?
I don't know.
All right, we have lots of calls coming through. Good morning. Good morning.
Paul, I'm detecting that you're rolling.
Hold on, Tina. Hold on, Tina.
Where's that Richard saying?
That the dash cam will turn around and say, Paul, I'm detecting that you're rolling your eyes. Want to pick?
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Pinal.
Yes, gentlemen. The question of Guyana and Venezuela, our Prime Minister, Dr. Williams, had postponed it. Let's leave that for another 10 years or so, and then he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering what they thought when they saw Dr. Rowley there. What was his contribution going to be if we were going to get another 10 years of peace with no threats and so on? But we didn't hear that coming up. But the accord that they signed there, the St. Vincent Accord, well, first of all, let me say I thought at one point that Gonzalez was trying to get that bounty of 15 million US that they have on Maduro's head. Invite him there and then tell him, well, look, I have him here. Come and get him.
Mr. Pina, are you serious?
Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, Wendell.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, but on the serious side of it, Maduro has told the companies in the Essequibo region that were sent there by Guyana, invited there and so on, that you need to be talking to us and you have 3 months. And he did not rescind that. They signed something and they shake hands and they made their claims. Nobody gave an inch. And he has not rescinded that. So I don't see any change taking place. In fact, I think that 3 months will come and go, and then he will go and interfere with them. Because they have a history. They have in legitimate, unquestioned Venezuelan territory. They have seized the installations of several companies, landing them in all kinds of hot waters with the American government, sanctions and all that. Mariano Brown has spoken extensively on that. That's where I got my information in the first place, and then I put up my ears. So I'm saying that they will have no gumption about going in and interfering with these people if they feel that's theirs. And their position is they have no interest in what the International Court of Justice have to say. So Guyana is waiting on that. They don't care about that. And the time will come and go. And what will happen then with the machismo? They will go in, right? So I think that we need to get we need to duck and run for cover. If we have a propeller attached to Trinidad somewhere, start it up and let's get out of here. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Peter. Good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
Morning.
Good morning, Dr. Paul.
Good morning.
Good morning, Richard.
Good morning.
Well, I am one who still believes that those talks, even though it was commendable, nothing going to change. Because I thought, well, I might have other discussions, but this first meeting, nobody in budget. So I don't think there might be a second meeting or third. So it still means unresolved, as far as I'm concerned. So, don't care what, a free ride, thing to drink, whatever. That's what it was. Mr. Maduro said, he done, and he has a mayor already in place, and he has these people in place, and Guyana's president has a plan. But the Guyana president has an armband, that is Guyana, that's his Guyana. So he can't back down on that either, because he will look very weak. So as far as I'm concerned, talk, yes, commendable for coming together, with a line, but nothing else. That's about it. Have a good day.
All right, thank you. Paul or Wendell, you all would have looked at the document and the final points of agreement. The final points of agreement, I didn't look at it, so that's why I'm asking. I don't know if the final points of agreement indicated anything like delaying or rescinding the referendum results.
No.
Pulling back on the map.
No.
That was distributed. Nothing like that.
They just said no further escalation in word or deed. And that's why I asked Dr. Brown, what does that mean?
In other words, do your thing and hush.
No, what does that mean? It doesn't mean that if Mr. President Maduro goes back tomorrow and send his mayors out and you go and take down your things in the classrooms and the municipal corporations and all that say that is part of his country?
Yeah.
Look,
basically, the way I interpret it is that they both will continue to do what they're doing, but not to say anything.
I didn't even think it's going to go up.
How did the Venezuelan media report it? Or nobody looked at that yet?
I can't read Polka too well.
I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see what happens in the Christmas. Everybody will chill out. I think Christmas is a spirit that they see like how Pinal wished me Merry Christmas just now when he started talking nonsense. That's how people is, in the spirit of Christmas, you'll just say Merry Christmas at the end of the day. I saw they get some nice St. Vincent strong rum or something yesterday because, Dr. Ralph ain't gonna let them go without a little parting gift or something, you know what I mean? I don't know if St. Vincent have Jack Iron like Grenada or strong rum. But I know they have a kind of rum.
They have a Vincentian rum.
Yeah. Well, they almost got a little package with it yesterday, So,
Dr. Gonzalez confirmed his re-election.
All of them who went there. Where you feel they went there for?
For peace in the Caribbean, but you all must stop being so cynical and vote all in red today. Like the devil sitting on all your shoulders. Come on.
Okay.
Stop being so cynical.
I heard a caller yesterday. I think it's the guy who's the pilot. I can't remember his name. He called in yesterday to say that we looked a lot different than we sounded. I wasn't sure what he meant. I think he was saying that Wendell is extremely good looking, but
he didn't go down that road. He said, well, first of all, you weren't present for him to determine on looks or not.
No, well, he determined it on a previous look, not yesterday.
He did say that we were a handsome bunch.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, you weren't there.
I think he just lumped all you guys in it with me. That's all right.
But yes. Oh my goodness. So Wendell, are you going to? Well, I suppose, of course, you're going to the funeral today.
I am expected to attend the funeral. I hope to hustle up and get down there because down there will be chaotic. Downtown, in the middle of town, it'll be
downtown
chaotic.
is always chaotic.
It'll be chaotic.
What was interesting is that I saw a huge full-page ad today in one of the dailies saying, "Come to the city of San Fernando to shop."
Oh.
And it says that there are free shuttles. You can park and ride at the main car park close to the hospital, and multi-story car park, and they're saying you can park your cars there. I guess they're catering to Northerners or other Southerners to park there, and there's a free shuttle that takes you to different spaces, different streets downtown San Fernando, and you could shop at your heart's content, and you can catch the shuttle back at any point, and it's a free shuttle that takes you back to the parkade. And they also indicated that they're opening on Sunday. and that the shuttle service will also be available on Sunday. And I said, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Who's that? PTFC?
No. This is the city of San Fernando
Okay.
itself. So it's like the city corporation. I'm
Yeah,
assuming
it would be the city corporation.
in tandem with the city's business district,
Business
I
people.
guess.
Yeah.
That is
Well, that's good
encouraging people to
because
come to San Fernando.
San Fernando is always so difficult to traverse. I know, gosh, parking is a mess. So that's a good idea. That's an extremely good idea. I know Port of Spain would have done something similar, like a uptown bus service. Like when they used to do the flea markets at the Savannah, now, they would have a shuttle going up there, you know. But it's been a while since we've had one of those massive flea markets at the Savannah.
I saw a lot of tents in the Savannah yesterday. I'm not so sure what they were for, but there were a lot of tents.
Okay.
I was wondering if there was going to be some sort of flea market or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's happening, you know. But Carnival is literally right around the corner. It's less than 2 months away.
Yeah. And some stations have switched to Soca, not so?
Mm-hmm.
Already.
I suspect.
They have that bypassed Christmas completely.
Yeah. Next week, I want to challenge you guys to do the 12 days of Christmas. We'll sing that. On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me. You know that song, the 12 days of Christmas.
All right.
I want to challenge you guys.
We have put up a poll for this morning. Of course, our morning poll is: do you think the Argyle Declaration will be honored by Presidents Ali and Maduro? That is our poll. We'll take a couple of minutes and do our poll now.
Richard, what is the name of the bus service that used to service the persons with disabilities?
Eldam.
Spell it E-L-D-A-M. D-A-M, not Eldam. Eldam.
Eldam, yeah.
Yeah, that's non-existent right now. All right, so I'll poll again, 222-8255, toll-free North Americans, 866-525-1099. Of course, on WhatsApp at 3181021, and on Facebook and YouTube. Do you think the Argyle Declaration will be honored by Presidents Ali and Maduro? Yes or no?
So Strong Rum is St. Vincent. And they have Sunset, Strong Rum, and Jack Iron. Okay, so I didn't know they had Jack Iron too. I know Grenada is Jack Iron. Lord, I tried that one year I went to Grenada. My goodness. It's like drinking fire.
All right,
I don't know how people drink rum, you know, on the whole.
Alison Richards, good morning. Carl M. Jack, Guy Small, G. Butcher, good morning. Slick Money Grip, good morning to you as well. All right. Let me see what's on WhatsApp here. What is that? Okay.
You're a rum drinker, Paul?
Yeah, sometimes, not very often.
All right.
I'm not early.
Rohini is asking about the dash cam. Just go on Amazon and look for AI dash cam. Right? AI dash cam.
And only one will come up?
Just really two. The two top ones.
Yeah.
All right. Good morning to Gavin Hira, locked on.
Morning, Gavin.
Let's see. Sankofa is saying good morning. And yeah, Frank Edwards is saying he wants to say happy birthday to his niece. All right. So happy birthday. Once again.
Yeah, I forgot to tell Taylor Swift earlier this week, happy birthday. My apologies.
Yes, her birthday was Wednesday.
Yeah, my apologies, Taylor.
Yeah, we had a chiching in New York for her birthday. Romantic, passionate lover, good morning. They say it will be honored by Presidents Ali, but not by Maduro. He's just a bullet. Yeah. All right. Do you think the Argyle Declarations will be honored by Presidents Ali and Maduro? Call us right now. Tell us yes or no. Messages tell us the same thing. Yes
But
or
I don't know
no?
if you could say it'll be honored by President Ali because he already come out in a combative mode right after the conference, right after the meeting. So I can't say, we can't say that it will be honored by him because he's certainly let go the first salvo. If all you know Maduro, he ain't gonna say much, you know. He just gonna do. He just gonna do.
You see, but I didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
No
habla.
It's time the troops are going across the river already, but I didn't say nothing. I didn't tell them to go. They felt it is there, so they went.
Yeah.
Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, gentlemen. I don't expect much of that agreement that was signed in St. Vincent yesterday, but I want Guyana to hold on to its position because you cannot want to annex to fill of a country that is recolonizing the country because you think there are resources there. So I honestly support of Guyana. I want them to hold their ground and stand their ground. Have a good day, gentlemen. I'm listening.
All right, New York. Thank you so much. Stay warm. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Morning.
You know what was sad about that conference yesterday? You mentioned it just now. Imagine after a conference where you sign an agreement for certain terms and conditions to exist. Imagine the president of Guyana coming out, as you mentioned, in that combative mood and saying that, look, that Essequibo is ours, and so on and so on and so on. That I consider to be very disrespectful, you know.
That's why I asked Dr. Brown, what will be considered escalation?
I consider it very disrespectful, right? I mean, that if that is not in dispute, why come out and carry on like that? I think that was a gross disrespect, and that was a sad ending, so to speak, as a post-conference meeting. I was really sad and upset about that. And people should talk more about how disrespectful I think the Guyana president was to the Venezuelan president if he was still on the island. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Good morning.
Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Yeah, listen, first of all, I don't think Maduro will keep up his end, personally. And what the other gentleman was saying about the Guyanese president came out and said, I would have done the same thing. I agree with him. He has every right to doing that. This is his property, his boundary. He has to let Venezuela know. We mean business. Other countries are doing it. Other countries are coming up as bold as they can with all the power in the mic and telling, it is mine. This is my country. All right, so Guyana and the rest of the Caribbean are people like everybody else in the world. So he has the right to stand his ground. That's what he's doing. He's standing his ground.
Yeah.
So, otherwise Venezuela will walk over you. Simple. And I think Maduro is not going to live up to that with all that he's carrying on. All right, guys, have a great
Yeah.
All
Is this the guy who's the pilot?
Captain Ron.
Is this Captain Ron?
Yes, sir.
All right, Captain Ron. I hope to meet you one day.
Oh yeah, you will. I may do a flight down there to Trinidad before Christmas.
Okay.
Let us know. WhatsApp us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do.
All righty.
Have a great day.
All the best to you, Captain Ron. Take care. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, happy Friday to all you guys.
Yeah.
I don't see anything coming out of this. These talks yesterday is all a farce, a show, and because they're still standing their ground, they both are, and I don't find Guyana president was disrespectful. He's just letting Mr. Maduro know where he stands. So if I think anything will come out of this, no, I don't think it was on it. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's just a big show. As Paul and you all said, it's for the politicians. They all got something out of it. Okay, gentlemen, have a great Friday and a happy weekend.
All right, big guy.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yes, morning. Calling from Arima.
Yes, Arima. Go ahead.
As far as I can see, that I don't think much would come out of that meeting yesterday. Maduro is clearly trying to be the Vladimir Putin on this side of the world. And if he continues down that road, It'll only bring more hardship to the people of Venezuela. That's my take. Thank you.
All right. And talking about Arima, the Honorable Lisa Morris Julian, Member of Parliament for Darby Mirror, is having a tree lighting ceremony at the Larrigome Stadium this evening from 6 to 9. Live music and entertainment. Bring your friends and your family. All right. I got a personal invitation from the MP's office, so thank you very much. I hope to make it at the Larrigome Stadium. Tree lighting, man. Arima. So, Richard, look, things happening in Arima, man. Larrigome Stadium. I can't speak about Central Arima.
Camera frozen, Wendell.
Yeah, his camera is frozen. Jaron Joseph says it will not be honored. Thank you so much.
Camera is frozen. It's not moving. Oh, it's moving a little bit now. It must be buffering. The camera buffering.
Oh gosh.
Good morning, CJ New York. Terrence Brown.
Are you seeing the star from Bayou, Wanda?
Oh gosh, I forget to look last night, you know. You know, as you talk about star, TM Tech, what are you all doing? Almost every week, every 2 days, every 3, current just goes for a split second and comes back on. It just goes and comes back on almost immediately.
No, Wendell, they're testing your breakers.
No, man. They can't be doing that.
But they do, though.
But it's happening a way too often now up in Arima here.
Yep, it happens from time to time.
Yeah. Come on. And it's almost like if somebody flick, you know, like when you checking your breakers, you're not sure which breaker is for which plug. But you just flick it on and off. Yeah. It's almost like if somebody doing that with a big breaker over some parts of the country. Flicking it on and I make a mistake and flick it back on. That's what happened. Everything goes down for a split second.
Yeah, you tell no lies. It does happen. It does happen from time to time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it resets. Sometimes it resets your modem and stuff for your Wi-Fi.
It resets everything.
Your Wi-Fi goes down sometimes.
They're testing your modem, making sure your modem working, your breaker working. Still a bread. What else is happening in the world? West Indies going to play the next match. They win 2. Everybody talking about how West Indies winning on a winning streak.
Well, they won.
When's the next game, Wendell? When is the next game? Saturday. What? Paul?
We have a game here in Trinidad.
But they win 2 out of 3 so far. I mean, this is unprecedented in the last couple of years.
Beating England is never easy, but they've got a good squad there, except for Hetmeyer, who I think doesn't belong in that squad at all. That boy has mental issues. He can't bat.
All right, we have a call. Good morning.
Good morning to the breakfast crew.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. I'm looking at the 2 presidents standing the ground. So we know they're not going to budge. My question is, how this will affect Trinidad and Tobago? And what measures are we in place if this escalated? Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, guys.
Have a warm, go by your fireplace at Tinto. You're going to need it where you live in there.
You bet, Wendell.
Yeah, it's a chilly one.
All right.
Enjoy for the next few months.
So I have one question out of the whole 12-hour thing yesterday. What's new?
As I say, unless they get...
What is new?
I'm hoping they did a gift exchange at the end of the day.
What is new? What came out that is new?
Well,
and what do they consider escalation? What you consider escalation might be what I consider escalation.
Yeah.
That's a very subjective phrase.
Paul, you kind of hit on it when you asked Dr. Brown about CARICOM's role on meeting, agreeing, and then having this this session yesterday. You know how fast they would have put that together, and I think that's a positive thing. You know, and Dr. Brown did jump on that. It's something positive for the CARICOM as a region. You know
what was accomplished.
What has been accomplished with them GA thing? And they're still fighting and war and bombing up?
No, there's agreed to jam the Caribbean and the smaller countries. There's agree on that?
Well,
okay.
Yes.
Right. So a lot is accomplished.
Whilst bombing one another.
That I may not agree with. But I mean, what came out this new yesterday? We agreed to that you don't agree with the ICJ and I agree with the ICJ. We agree that we wouldn't do nothing to escalate the situation in word or deed, and right after somebody says something that may be considered an escalation. You understand? So when Maduro go back now, he will say, well, when we did done, he did say we gonna exploit the land, you know. So that is escalation. So I can say something now. You understand? They both going to do what they want because they both can't be seen to be backing down on their previous pronouncement. Nobody rescinded anything. Nobody scaled back anything because they have their countries to face. But Maduro could go and tell the people, well, I'll tell you is we land, but because we meet yesterday with the CARICOM and CELAC, it's not really we land right now. We ain't decided.
We'll hold, guys.
We will hold. So the mayor is not the mayor right now. Mayor don't go yet. Right? And Exxon and all you do have 3 months again to come and talk to me.
Well, if Israel and the Gaza could have relaxed the positions for 4 or 5 days while this bunch of people get released and this bunch of people get released, if they could have done that, who's Venezuela and Guyana? Huh? Israel and Gaza actually held off, and Hamas actually held off what they were doing for 4 days, 4 or 5 days, however long it took for them to do the releasing, the bargaining. So, Guyana and Venezuela want to chill out for until Boxing Day. I will give them the opportunity.
No, I know what what's accomplished. The opposition in St. Vincent did not get the kind of press Dr. Gonzalez got walking both leaders off the tarmac. Re-election campaigns.
Yeah.
You notice everybody's positioning on the tables?
Yes.
You notice the positioning on the tables, right?
Yeah, I said that too.
Okay.
They
All right, everybody make sure that they were in camera frame. Right? And as Richard said, the telling picture of the handshake in the end with President Ali looking directly at Maduro. So, meaning watching you because you know I go back to my country tomorrow and come to you, being at time with all you. I can't be seen as not be willing to work out an amicable resolution. So I will attend. I will fly in with the SEQ and blazing on the military aircraft tail.
All right, we have a call, gentlemen. Let's grab it. Good morning, caller. Thanks for holding.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
First thing I would like to acknowledge the question Ms. Cheryl. I think Ms. Cheryl Henry asked yesterday. I don't know if she watched the program, but I did ask the question, and I hope to get an answer today.
What was the question?
It was about, she asked me to ask Superintendent Alexander a question about the female police officer that was arrested. Same question that I asked you to find out. So I did pose the question direct to Superintendent Alexander.
There's Lincoln, right?
Yes.
Lincoln, I think TV6 and the TTPS should give you a raise for promoting the show every day.
Why?
You know what? You're right.
Every day, and Alexander is the one who should take it out of his pocket and give you because you are relentless in the promotion of that show.
Yeah, boy.
I'm sure you can't take, you watch it every day. You don't make joke.
In direct promotion, you're right. Because bad publicity is publicity as well, too, as they say in the media business. But Paul, you said something this morning. I catch it between sleep and wake this morning, and I don't think you don't think you're correct with your statement in holistic. I'll tell you a personal story that I had 2 weeks ago.
First, you just said what I said that you're going to comment on.
But well, you'll get it. 2 weeks ago, my ceiling guy and I having a conversation, and he said, "Boy, I hear about this thing where you're investing $15,000 and you could get something like 25 in 3 weeks and whatnot. He said, I hear what he said, He said, I know it's a gambling, no. However, you can't resist the interest. You can't make that kind of money in 3 weeks. You say, the thing about it is, and I know it's something that could crash. I'm hoping that I get in early enough that I could make my money and get out. I said, but man, these things, you don't know what thing. You have to get in very early.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm taking a chance that I'll get in early and come out. When I hear about this thing on social media that you saw there's some Ponzi scheme crash and what, and my mind flashing him. Like every time I called just yesterday, I hit the call. I said, hey, you was in this thing that crashed? He said, yeah, but I lost some money. I said, how much money you lost? He said, $13,000. I said, Jesus Christ. Yeah, the funny thing, the day before, I saw him in a fender bender. He running into the back of somebody's car. He said, boy, I was texting. I called him and he said, boy, I was texting and driving and running into somebody's car. You know, he called me yesterday or the day before. You can lend my $1,000 to fix my car. I'm saying,
let me tell you what I have a problem with, Lincoln.
Is desperation that's caused poverty.
No, but the premise, let me tell you what the issue is. The premise that I could get in and get out before it crashed and entrap other people is dishonesty.
It's greed and dishonesty,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Because you feel you will entrap other people because you have to bring other people in, and you don't care that you get your money, that the people that you invite in get held holding the crappy and the stick is dishonesty.
Yeah. Thanks, Lincoln.
You are part of the problem. Part of the problem.
Trinidad,
All right,
you
let's
just suck up for punishment, yes?
Let's take our final call. Good morning. Hey, all right, guys.
I know it's right on the hour, so I just called to wish you all a very nice weekend. It's from what I heard on the weather channel, it's going to be kind of rainy. So, Paul, the fluffy blanket is waiting.
Which fluffy blanket?
Oh gosh.
All right, well, don't ask that question.
One crumple up, and one smooth. Which one? The crumple up one or the smooth one?
The smooth one.
But that's the cloth one because the other one is very crumply.
Oh God, gentlemen, well, have a good week.
So you all use quilts?
They should lock up everybody who went in that scheme. Everybody who went in that scheme. If you crowd that you lost.
But you know there's a law against that actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Participating in it is illegal.
It's illegal and they're greedy and they're foolish. You understand? And
Don't you get in early enough, you get your money. So what about you encourage?
No.
You ain't care about them, that's your friend, right?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Foolish people. I didn't believe after Susu, what do you think name? That they had drugs. Well, I can't remember the last Susu thing.
What the hell invest money in something called drug, Susu? Some people mad.
But see, I saw on WhatsApp or something, there were people burning up their T-shirt and burning thing on stove sign that sign that they had something X something. I see the
Zena, before you go, you said to brine my turkey yet?
That turkey must be kind of dry. I prefer the fowl. I fix it up to roast it. I'll go on. You have a good weekend.
I just knew how that was going to go in.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Merry Christmas. Be careful. This is the weekend before the weekend of Christmas, so please be careful. Malls will be packed. Crazy people looking for parking when they try to run you over. Bandits going to try to rob you.
Yeah.
Don't overload your electricity. Be careful with the children, and please have a safe, wonderful weekend.
You know, the same amount of time it took to get free from Arima to Port of Spain yesterday took me from Port of Spain to St. James. It's almost like if everybody came into town yesterday and driving sightseeing.
But today will be worse with that funeral.
Oh God, no! I don't even want to think about it. Anyway, folks, have a wonderful weekend. Is it weekend? Yeah. Be careful on the nation's roads. Look out for the young ones and remember to let go and let God. Don't forget Rumbok's anniversary is also today. So you could drop in, and you never know, you get screwball.
Yeah.
Have a fantastic weekend. The weekend has begun, people. When does somebody name of the dash come?
Look at the eye dash here. I'll send it to you in orange.
Tonight, we have a fantastic day. And of course, listeners, wherever you are across the planet, enjoy your weekend, whatever you do. Celebrate Christmas. Celebrate joy. It's good for your health. Have a good one.
All right, guys. Have a good one as well. Today is also the anniversary of my MP, my Empress. 3 years already.